Femi and Deola Adebanjo were the perfect picture of what a dream couple should be. From the way Femi opened the car door for Deola to how he gently pulled out her chair at public events. He carried himself like a man deeply devoted to his wife. Deola, on her part, looked at him with open admiration, her eyes glowing whenever she spoke about him. She never missed a chance to praise him, telling anyone who cared to listen that she had married the best man alive. Online, Deola's Instagram overflowed with love posts. My forever king, when you marry your best friend. And under it, you will see comments like, God when? Perfect couple goals. Deola, please teach us how to keep a man like yours. To the outside world, they were goals. They were enviable. They were flawless. But what the world didn't know was that behind the polished smiles was a marriage built on bitterness, silence, insults, regrets, and resentment. When the front door shut, Femi's tone changed. Deola, do you ever think before you speak? Femi backed one morning, slamming his coffee mug on the glass table. She flinched, her eyes wide. I'm sorry. I didn't mean. You never mean anything. You are just like the mistake you forced me into. The words cut through her heart. She simply lowered her head, forced a smile, and whispered, I'm sorry. Before the fancy mansion and the picture-perfect smiles, there were three inseparable friends, Bisi, Deola, and Ada. Bisi was the calm and gentle one, always smiling, always patient. Ada was the bold one, never afraid to speak her mind. And Deola was the beautiful one, confident and ambitious, the kind of girl who hated to come second in anything. They were out having lunch one sunny afternoon when Femi first approached their table. Deola's heart had fluttered immediately. She was sure she was the one he was coming for. But to her surprise and silent irritation, Femi's eyes were fixed on Bisi. He introduced himself with a warm smile, and the moment he spoke, it became clear he wasn't interested in Deola at all. His attention, his compliments, his lingering glances, they were all for Bisi. Deola felt a sharp sting of jealousy, but she masked it with her usual charming smile. Femi was everything a woman could possibly want. Tall, dark, handsome, well-dressed, and with a presence that made heads turn. When Deola later found that he wasn't just handsome, but also wealthy, her envy grew like wildfire. Ada, as usual, was the cheerful one. She teased Bisi endlessly about her tall chocolate prince, while Bisi shyly brushed it off. Femi adored Bisi. Anyone could see it. He took her out on dates, sent her flowers, and sometimes invited her friends along so she wouldn't feel pressured. But the more Deola saw their love grow, the more she burned inside. Why Bisi? Why not me? She believed she was the classy one, the striking beauty of the group. In her mind, she deserved someone like Femi, not modest, quiet Bisi. Then the opportunity came. One evening, Femi called Deola privately. He told her he was planning a surprise engagement party for Bisi and needed her help to get everything perfect. Deola's heart raced. She agreed instantly. On the day they were supposed to meet and plan, she dressed like she was going for a red carpet event. Even Ada had to ask, half-jokingly, Ah, Deola, is it only Femi you are meeting, or are you going to a party? Deola only smiled. She had already told Femi that instead of meeting at a restaurant, it would be better, more private and comfortable to meet at his house. Femi didn't suspect anything. He trusted her as Bisi's close friend. When she arrived, Femi opened the door with a wide smile. "Wow, Deola, you look stunning," he said honestly. That single compliment watered the seed already planted in her heart. After they discussed the plans, Deola suggested they celebrate with a drink, a toast to the upcoming engagement party. One drink turned into two. Two became three. Laughter filled the room. Boundaries faded. And lines blurred. And that night, they crossed the line. A betrayal sealed behind closed doors. Days later, Deola forced herself to smile around Bisi, pretending nothing had changed. She laughed at jokes she didn't hear, hugged Bisi with arms that felt stiff, and nodded along whenever Bisi spoke sweetly about Femi. But inside she was gloating. Every smile she gave felt fake. Every "I'm so happy for you" tasted like poison dripping from her tongue. She carried a secret, a dirty victory only she knew about. Then, 2 weeks later, Diola sat on the edge of her bed, staring at the pregnancy test strip in excitement. Two bold lines, clear, unmistakable. She felt a twisted sense of triumph. Now he can't marry her. Now he has to choose me. She immediately grabbed her phone and called Femi. He picked up on the second ring. "Diola, hope everything is okay." Her voice was low. "Femi, I'm pregnant." Silence. A long, icy silence that made her heart pound. Then his voice came, cold, unsteady. "You can't be. It was just one time." "Well, I am," she snapped softly. "You don't have to sleep with someone 1,000 times to get them pregnant." Another silence. This time heavier, frightening, suffocating. Della thought she had won. She thought it was her moment. The moment life finally gave her what she believed she deserved. But what she didn't know was that was the beginning of her downfall. One afternoon, Bisi decided to stop by Femi's house. She wanted to surprise him with his favorite food and spend some quiet time together. She walked toward the door, smiling to herself, until she heard voices, raised voices. She paused. It was Femi and Deola. "I told you, Deola, I need time to think." Femi sounded frustrated, almost desperate. "Think about what?" Deola shot back. "I'm pregnant, Femi. Or do you want me to tell everyone? I haven't been with anyone for months. This child is yours." Bisi froze. Her hands loosened. The food flask fell from her grip and hit the floor with a dull thud. The voices stopped instantly. When they turned, Bisi was standing by the door, tears already pooling in her eyes. The betrayal in her gaze was sharp enough to cut through bone. Diola's face shifted, not to guilt, not to shame, but nonchalant. Femi's mouth fell open, but no words came out. There were no excuses he could offer. No explanation was strong enough. Bisi stepped closer, her voice barely a whisper. "So, this is what my two best friends have been doing behind my back." Neither of them answered. Slowly, painfully, Bisi took off her engagement ring, the same ring Femi had lovingly chosen for her, and placed it on the table. "I trusted you," she whispered to Femi. "It happened just once." Femi tried to defend himself. Then Bisi turned to Deola. "I hope you will be able to live with yourself after this." Deola looked away, unbothered. Bisi walked out, leaving the ring behind, leaving the man she loved. leaving the friendship she cherished. Everything shattered in a single moment. Femi eventually married Deola, not out of love, not out of desire, but out of shame and responsibility. He had always sworn that all his children would grow up under his roof, so he did what he believed was the honorable thing. Deola's wedding was everything she once dreamed of, expensive and elegant. The hall glittered with gold decorations. Everyone smiled and danced happily. But only two people in that hall knew the truth. It was no love story. Femi smiled for the cameras, but his eyes were cold. He didn't hold her hand unless people were watching. He didn't whisper, "I love you." He didn't even look at her during their couple's dance. Deola, glowing with victory, was certain time would soften his heart. She believed love would grow once they settled into the marriage. But it didn't. Femi gave her a home, but not affection. He fulfilled his duties, but not his heart. And from that day, every word he spoke carried the same message. You ruined my life. And from the very first night of their marriage, Deola realized something she never expected. Winning a man's body is one thing. Winning his heart is another battle entirely. A battle she would never win. Most nights, he slept in a separate bedroom. And each morning, he never failed to remind her that he can never love her. Deola, you trapped me. You betrayed your best friend. You caused this. Femi would always say bitterly. Those words cut deeper than any slap. But Deola stayed because the house was big, the cars were new, and her wardrobe never ran out of things to wear. People envied her life, and that envy was her shield. Online, she became the image of perfection, posting photos of gifts, vacations, and flowers. My king surprised me again. Her followers believed every word. Only she knew that behind every diamond bracelet was another insult. Behind every trip, another silent night. She lived in a golden prison, one she built herself, and one she was too ashamed to leave. Because deep inside, she feared the laughter of those who would say, "Serves her right. She snatched her best friend's man." Ada could see through the makeup and smiles. Whenever she visited, Deola would dress neatly, her lips painted, her laughter a little too loud. But Ada noticed the cracks, the swollen eyes, the tense hands, the way Deola flinched when her phone rang. One afternoon, Ada sat beside her in the living room. "Dee," she said softly, "you can tell me the truth. Are you happy?" Deola forced a laugh. "Of course I am." "Look around you, Ada. What else could a woman want?" Ada shook her head. "Peace, Deola. A woman wants peace." Deola looked away. "People will laugh if I leave. They will say Karma caught me. They will say I stole him and now I can't handle it." Ada sighed. "Let them say whatever they want. You don't owe the world your suffering." Tears filled Deola's eyes, but she blinked them back quickly. "I can't start over, Ada. I have everything. I believe he will change." When Ada left that evening, Deola stood by the window, staring at the gate as her friend's car drove off. The compound was quiet, but inside her, there was a storm. She wanted to scream, to run, to be free, but shame chained her. Fear silenced her. And so she smiled again, the same practice smile the world loved to see, and posted another photo. "My husband just got me a new car. Isn't he the best husband?" Ada saw the post later that night and whispered sadly to herself, "Who is this one trying to impress?" She is dying slowly and pretending beautifully. Deola kept enduring, day after day, night after night. She lived with the harsh reality she had created for herself. Her life, once filled with dreams and ambition, slowly became a prison of regrets, and had I known. She often sat on the edge of their massive bed, staring into space, wondering how she went from being the admired, confident Deola to a woman who felt invisible in her own home. Femi barely spoke to her, and when he did, it was only to insult or complain. Is this what you cooked? Move out of my way. Don't stress me, Deola. You are my biggest mistake. His words were like knives, tearing her soul, and he never hid the fact that he still missed Bisi. Femi didn't mind that she was pregnant. He didn't soften. He didn't show concern. And he didn't treat her any better. Her condition meant nothing to him. Not her tears, not her pain, not even the life growing inside her. To Femi, she was simply the consequence of a night he wished he could erase. At night, when the house was quiet and Femi slept on the far edge of the bed, back turned, heart closed, Deola would cry silently into her pillow. This wasn't the life she imagined. This wasn't the victory she thought she won. The mansion felt bigger, the silence felt heavier, and Femi's hatred felt louder than any insult he could throw. The night it happened, the rain was falling hard, pounding the roof, beating against the windows. Deola sat alone on the couch, staring at the untouched dinner she had carefully prepared hours earlier. The food had gone cold. Her heart had gone colder. Femi had called earlier to say he would be late again. When the door finally opened, wind and rain blew in with him. Femi staggered inside, soaked, his shirt half-buttoned, his breath thick with alcohol. His face was dark, unreadable, dangerous. Femi, it's past midnight, Deola said quietly. Keeping late nights like this is not safe. He dropped his key on the table with a loud clatter. What did you just say? He slurred. I'm only worried. Please, you drink too much these days. That was all it took. Femi exploded. You are my biggest mistake, he spat. If I had known, I would never, never have married you. The words hit her harder than any slap. Deola swallowed her tears. Please, let's not fight tonight. Femi, I really do love you. What happened? It was a mistake we both made. But we are here now. Can't we move past it? I deserve better than this. Femi let out a cold, humorless laugh. Better? You think you deserve better? He turned away, dismissively, shaking his head. Desperate, Deola stepped closer and gently held his arm, not in anger, not in accusation, but in pleading love. Femi, please. In one swift, angry motion, he shoved her hard. Her feet slipped. Her scream was swallowed by the thunder. She fell forward, landing with full force on her stomach. When she opened her eyes again, everything was white. The ceiling, the sheets, the smell of disinfectant. She was in the hospital. Ada was sitting beside her, eyes swollen from crying. Deola, you are awake, she whispered, holding her hand. Deola tried to speak, but her throat felt dry and bruised. She swallowed painfully, then instinctively placed a hand on her stomach. Ada, her voice cracked. My baby, where is my baby? Ada's eyes filled instantly with tears. She shook her head. Deola, Her voice broke. I'm so sorry. The words crashed into Deola like a wave. She lost her child. A raw, broken sob tore out of her chest. She covered her face with shaking hands, her body trembling as grief dripped through her. No, 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 she cried, her tears soaking the sheets. It was all I had. It was all I had left. Ada held her, but Deola felt alone, painfully, horribly alone. Deola stared at the ceiling, the sterile white light reflecting her brokenness. She thought of every insult, every shove, every cold look from Femi. She thought of the life she had pretended to love, the golden cage she had called home. For the first time, clarity came. He would never love her. He would never forgive her. And she had been waiting for something that would never come. Later that evening, Della wiped her swollen eyes and whispered, Ada, please, please help me. Beg Bisi to come. There's something I need to tell her before I lose my mind. Ada hesitated. After everything that had happened, she didn't know if Bisi would agree. But she saw the desperation in Deola's eyes. A desperation born not out of pride, but from deep, genuine remorse. I'll try, Ada said quietly. It took hours, but Bisi eventually came. She entered the hospital room slowly, her face unreadable. She stopped at the foot of the bed, keeping her distance. Her presence alone made Deola break into fresh tears. Bisi, please, Deola whispered, voice shaking. I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I needed to see you. Bisi said nothing. She simply waited. Deola swallowed hard, tears sliding down her cheeks. What happened between me and Femi? It wasn't what you thought. I was jealous, bitter. I felt like you had everything I wanted. I let envy blind me. She sobbed harder. That night at Femi's place, I put something in his drink. He was not fooling himself. Femi would never have slept with me with a clear mind. He never would. Never. He loved you. Ada's mouth fell open. Bisi's eyes widened in shock. But I wanted him, Deola continued, voice trembling with shame. I thought if I trapped him, if I got pregnant, he would stay with me, love me, choose me. She covered her face with her hands. I was wrong. Love can't be forced. And trying to trap a man into marriage with a pregnancy, it only destroyed me. Silence filled the room, heavy, suffocating, heartbreaking. Then Deola lifted her head, eyes swollen but sincere. Bisi, please forgive me. And please accept Femi back. He was innocent. He has always loved you. I ruined everything, not him. Ada stood frozen. Bisi was speechless, tears streaming down her cheeks. They had known Deola to be ambitious, proud, competitive, but never in their wildest dream did they imagine she could go to such lengths. And yet, looking at her now, broken, empty, humbled by pain, they saw a woman who had paid dearly for her choices. Bisi slowly walked closer. She didn't say much. She simply whispered, I forgive you. Ada nodded, placing a hand on Deola's shoulder. She forgave her too. If you were Bisi, would you still take Deola back as a friend after everything she did? And would you accept Femi back, knowing the truth of how it all happened? This story teaches us that what is not yours can never truly be yours. And even if you force it, manipulate it, or manage to grab hold of it, you will never enjoy it. Because anything built on lies, jealousy, and selfishness will eventually crumble. Forgiveness can heal, but trust is fragile. Once trust is broken, it is difficult, if not impossible, to fully mend. Even when forgiveness is granted, the scars of betrayal often remain. Please share your thoughts in the comments. I'd really love to read and learn from you. And if you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your family and friends, and hit the subscribe button to be part of this beautiful family. Thank you so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye.